on the area right around the ground, we've got this synthetic carpet going right around the ground, try and protect the area a little bit. Otherwise, it gets too churned up with the number of people wandering around here during the week and during the day. The ground itself, we've got two types of grass there, both a couch and a rye. We grow that. On that is all grown basically on like a mesh background. So as if we need to, we can just cut down the strips and just roll it up. Out in the centre, when we're playing cricket, we've got 10 drop-in wickets out there. At the moment they're not there, they're out. At the moment the drop-in wickets are just out here behind Light Tower 3, out in the back paddock out there. They'll be looked after out there. And I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on. The capacity of the ground here itself is 100,000 people. In round figures, 100,000 people. We can seat here at the MCG. The MCC members themselves, which is all the green seats there, right round the dark brown and the white green. Seats the members themselves, about 102,000 members there. They pay roughly $700 a year, in round figures. That's 102,000, but also on the waiting list to join the MCC, we have 250,000 people on the waiting list to join the club. It's almost a 20-year wait to get in. The ground itself is 174 metres long, 147 metres across. And when we play cricket here, we play north-south, not east-west. We go the opposite direction. The oldest stand here is the southern stand over the far side that was built in 1992. The light towers went up in 83, 84, 10 years earlier. That's the southern stand. On the northern side here, we used to have the three stands here. We had the Montford stand, or the western stand. Some people knew it as down the far end. The members are set in the middle there, and the Olympic stand was here. We've slowly pulled them down bit by bit from 2003 through to 2005. I completed at the end of 2005, ready for the Commonwealth Games here in 2006. Bit of an orientation up on level 2, just over here, the highest windows over the higher windows just there. Level are the two coaches boxes, where the Melbourne will be on the one on the right hand side tonight, Collingwood, Richmond on the right hand side. No, Collingwood on the left side. Yeah. Richmond, Collingwood, yeah. Collingwood is on the far side, and Richmond on the side over here. Up on level 3, on the far end of that glazed box at the top end, right on the far end of that is where they control the two scoreboards, and also control all the signage right around the ground. It's all controlled from there. And also in that box up on the top is where we have the timekeepers, and sometimes with cricket we'll have the third umpire and match referee up there as well. That's where they are. The flat glassed area alongside that glazed box there is the television studios, where they do all the commentary for all events. Is all done from up there, and all the commentators are all up there. That's where they are. Coming around before that, we can see the round of the Triple M sign over there is basically where there's 8 different broadcasting booths in there for the broadcasters for the different radio stations. They've all got their own boxes set up there, and away they go. And then from there around about here somewhere, about just in front of us, is where the journalists sit. With all writing the papers and everything else. It's all done from that up there. And the west way around the ground,
Whereabouts would the cricket teams be sat during the match?
While they're playing?
Yeah.
The cricket's on the batting side will be sitting in that cricket's view rooms out the far, so hopefully we'll get time to have a cricket place. Basically the batsmen sit waiting to go out the bat. Obviously the fielding side's always on the ground, so they don't worry about that. The batting side's sitting here. The room directly behind me here is always used by the Victorian side, or the Australian side, the visiting side, the national side, far side over there. They sit here, whilst they're waiting down at the back. 6 rows of seats directly in front of us, as you can see most often as well. That's for the wives, girlfriends and families to sit. Most passes for those. The wags, yes, the wags. It's the wives and girlfriends. It's also the families now. We've got a lot of the victim cricketers. We've got a lot of them out. What young, mum and dad come on the same place. It's gone a little beyond the wags these days. That's the area they play. But when the batsman goes out the bat, they go out that side gate that you just came in, and they follow that green carpet down, go out that single gate down the bottom there. That's where they go out the bat. When they go out, the Victorian and the Australian side, they'll come back, they'll come down this race directly below us here, straight down to the change room. The Australia, the international, if we use the race over the far side over there, you see the changes out on the ground there. You see the race going down there, and that's the one that they'll use over that side. Purely because that's where the change rooms are. That's basically where they sit, where they hide. We've got the nice comfortable chairs to sit in and relax in. And then we have a little back up here as well. Places at the moment.
These MCG pigeons, they're especially tamed, are they? Put up this
It's interesting. And we'll be taking them down tonight. Taking them down straight away because it's not none tomorrow night, it's Saturday night. We've got another game on Saturday night. So then they've got to put theirs up, take them down Saturday night, ready. So it's the next Sunday, come and put theirs up and take them down Sunday night. So it's a complete turnaround here all the time in this room here. At the moment, with the side that's in this room lucky enough to win tonight, this is where they'll form the circle, do the theme song here. The camera's up the top there, which we take photograph of the television. When we go to cricket though, this room changes enormously. Instead of just being a blank empty room here, right round the side of the room you have a number of benches and lockers. The cricketers have all their lockers in here, put their gearing stuff in here. They have their rub-down tables in here, and they have a number of lounge chairs in here, similar to what we saw in the view room upstairs. Because really all the cricketers do here is get changed, sit down, relax, and maybe have a team meeting. Because all their training is done upstairs. Whereas in football, they'll do all their warm-ups and everything else in here.
What's going?
Pardon?
Showers?
Showers, yeah. So we'll go through it.
Oh, wow.
It just gives you a bit of perspective, a better view of the overall size of the ground and the location of the ground where it's really used down here. 530 metres. And when you consider the size of the bat they would have used, the size of that was used in '93 compared to what they use today, it's not bad either. The longest I've seen here, I've been here over 30 years, the longest I've seen here has got on to the first row on level 2. This guy. That's the longest here. It's quite an achievement. Here we are. All right.
Let's get beaten, we'll be changed.
Yeah, that yellow set will always stay there, but they'll move forward. We've got a colour in somewhere else here, if anyone ever gets that far. Okay. All right, any other quick? No, we'll move on. There's actually St Paul's Cathedral, right on the centre of Swanson Street and Flinders Street. Directly opposite here is the headquarters for the Tennis Australia, so the headquarters there, and the media area down underneath. Directly opposite that there is Rod Laver Arena, where we played the Australian Open and also have a number of concerts and what have you there. The Margaret Court Arena for Melbourne for the Australian Open is directly behind this building here. You can't see it at the moment now because of the building here. That's Margaret Court Arena there. Up the top there, you can see the blue tennis courts up there are the show courts that they use for the tennis show courts 1, 2 and 3. show courts are just up on the top there. The outdoor courts are just out here, right in front of us here. Show court 14 that they use quite regularly, they talk about it. It's that first one just in the corner there. We love it when we're Australian Opens on, we can watch some of the players warming up. Just out here on the front here. Up on the top is Linda's place. That's the government house on the top of the hill there. The white tower up the top is the government house. Directly below it, down the bottom there, the building down there with the V-shape, if you like, with sloping walls, was the home for the 1956 aquatic events. The swimming, diving and water polo was all done in that building over there, that little building there, because all the field events off the track and field were here. But today, that building's had numerous uses today, over the years, but today it's the headquarters of the Collingwood Football Club. And that's their training room, training areas just behind where the lights are on the top there. Another building just in front of us here, the retractable roof, was the High Sense Arena. It's a multi-purpose venue. We use it for everything. We have netball, basketball, hockey, cycling, motocross, tennis and concerts. We can use it for everything. They've got, within that, they've got a world-class, world standard velodrome they set up in there as well. So we can have just about every sport we want. Next one around is the dome roofs over the top of it is Amy Park, a square pitch for soccer and rugby. The home of Melbourne Storm and Melbourne Victory, they all use it there. Seating capacity around about 30,000. So obviously when we bring the international soccer players and whatever here, we play it all here. That's great. Around a bit further, running the railway line there is once again part of Tennis Australia. The first part are just indoor tennis courts. The second part of it, then the blue area down there, is all their training facilities, all their gymnasiums and everything else set up there so they can train there. And just outside that building down in the far corner is 3 clay courts. So as the tennis players can go over there and practice over there before they go across to Roland Garros and do the Europe circuit. So they go across and practice the game. They also had the tennis academies held in there as well. So we've got plenty to keep us going. And that's one of the reasons why they call us the sporting capital of the world, because every sport is covered within a 20-minute walk of the city. Okay, any questions? Interesting thing there is the difference between, say, 50 years to go from 2.12 up to 2.26. It took 50 years to get that high. Whereas 10 years later, when you've gone up a little bit further, the men are up to there. That's 10 years. Really, 50 years to get that. If you wanted to go to the
That's classy.
You can't judge the women. Oh, you're kidding. It took the men 50 years to get that there, just over a metre. Now, apart from himself, that was it. When that photograph was taken, he asked, demanded that the negative be totally destroyed. And there was only 4 copies of that photograph made. 1 copy's in the Bradman family, 1 copy's in the Tendulkar family. The photographer still has 1, and that's the 4th one. And you'll notice that those are the only 4 copies that are signed by Bradman and Tendulkar. Bradman was such an introvert. Okay, good. You all right? Okay. Once again, we might have 50 members, 50 visitors or guests coming on this level as well. As long as they've got a proper Beltman pass, it's all long run pass, that's all they can get. that we have here. One of the traditions here is that every president and every secretary has a portrait painted of themselves and hung in this room here. On the far end down there are two recent presidents, the immediate past president down the bottom and the president before him up top, Paul Sheehan and David Meikle-John down that end. And here you've got 6 here, another one out the back, 8 there, 9 here of all our past presidents over the years. Up on the top left-hand wall over there, facing the ground, 6 photos over there are the 6 secretaries of the club, and they are the only 6 secretaries this club has had since 1879. 1879. Dress standard in here is very strict. Males coming in this room must be virtually suit, collar and tie, or tailored pants, and jacket, collar and tie. And ladies are expected to dress similarly. There is no jeans, no sporting footwear, no thongs. We come in here at all. It's very much the upper mark level here. And also into here, you must be 18 years of age to enter. No one under 18 can come in. This is the only area for the members that can come in on a walk-up basis and sit and have a meal. Nice carvery meal upstairs or downstairs tonight. I was such a good number here. On some of the smaller days, they only have it upstairs up there. And I would have it as a guest tonight. You'll see a queue going from this end here right up the other end of the room waiting to get a table. It's that popular here. Apart from that there, the members, if they want to make sure they get a meal, they can book into the dining room, which is directly opposite over here. The dining room seats roughly 350, but to get into the dining room, they must ring and book a table. Very rarely do we get the opportunity to walk up and get a table in the dining room. Just over here in the Olympic stand over here, you can see the grey where the wall comes up a little bit higher there in the Olympic stand before we go in the Southern stand. Is the Jim Steins room. It's also used by the members, where they can go over there and have they've got what they call the Jim Steins grill going over there, have a nice meal over there as well. But to get into there, they must book a table. And with them, just behind the glass there, there's a number of series of couches similar to this, so they can just sit in there and watch the football in there as well. What it is. Crew control, the lounges along here come out of the old long room back in 1923. They've been refurbished and rebuilt a number of times over the years. The last time they were done is back in 2005 when they opened it. Opened this room here again after the rebuilding, and they were done there. And we're asked to respect all the older members of the club to sit in there, and they've got priority in all those sitting across there as well.
To book this, would you have to be a member? Like for a reception or something?
Must have at least a member. Yep. I believe from some of the members and some of the people I've talked to, it's quite reasonable and cost-wise. Yeah, we quite often have weddings in here, in the long room here. Quite often we have them in the dining room. We have functions here pretty well every day of the week. Yeah. As long as they're basically a member. Just at the end of the green seats there, the last area behind it there is the room for our 50-year members room. Our 50-year members can go down there during the football and cricket and have a cup of tea, cup of coffee any time they like, and at half time or at lunch for the cricket, they can go down and enjoy a sandwich or a party pie or whatever else, and it costs them nothing. Our members here, as I said before, full members pay $700, restricted members pay $500 a year, but our 50-year members pay a princely sum, $15 a year.
Oh, 15.
15. And they get a reserved seat. This here, rank here, N43, seats here are all reserved for our 50-year members. But they've been
So
paying
we're in
the
50
equivalent of $700 for 50 years.
Yeah, well, that's true. Five.
Just on 2,050 members. Okay, the doors over on this side here, the bronze doors that were the main entrance to the Melbourne Cricket Club before we did the refurbishment here in 2003, 2005. The main doors that had there. The far one over the far side, down the bottom there, is Don Bradman down here and Bill Ponsford here. Bill Ponsford was one of the batsmen that he batted basically number 3, but quite often played with Don Bradman. Second one here, basically the cycling. We used to have a cycling track here back in the 1920s, 1930s. We've got a cycling track here as well. Just to represent that. The Queen's emblem and then the service badges down the bottom. Obviously football. We've got Betty Cuthbert here with the Olympics. Here, just to represent the things we had here. The next one up there, Don Bradman, with all the centuries he made here listed alongside his name, 118 of them, all 18 centuries plus. There's the century up there you wanted. The next one, the second one up there, represents the number of the sporting clubs that the Melbourne Cricket Club is involved in. Melbourne Cricket Club is not only football and cricket. It's got sporting teams in lacrosse, hockey, baseball, golf, tennis, lawn bowls, basketball, shooting. There's about 13 or 14 of them. Squash is another one they have as well. The number of sporting clubs they have. On this wall over here, we've got a tapestry. The tapestry gives us 150 years of our history, from 1855 down here to 2005 on that far end. It was done by the Victorian, the Australian now, the Australian Tapestry Guild. It took 9 ladies 9 months to complete. It's been done in 12 panels, and each one of those figures there, each one, football, cricketers, the whole lot of them, are all the authentic motion of each one of those players. Each one of those has been taken from photographs or pictures, whatever else, to give you the identity of what they are. Some of them, the more modern people can recognise some of the players down on this end of it here. Some of the old fellas, the older people can still remember some of those up this end over here, 1855. Some of the main highlights on that though, the group here is the first group of colonial people to go to the UK to play cricket. The Ashes Urn, of course, is alongside it there, the Penny Farthing Bike, and of course the Sheffield Shield, which our states still play for today. Down the bottom here, that time of the year, that's the stage. 1879, they played a game of football here under lights on this ground. 1879.
Apparently, the Aboriginal team turned England, they done very, very well.
They did very well, yes, they did very well. Down through the centre there, we've got a number of the grandstands we've had here over the years. Right down the track. In the middle here, on top of the main grandstand here, we've got 2 servicemen and the American flag. A lot of people want to know why the American flag's there. There's two reasons, there's 2 stories. One was during the gold rush, and the Americans, there's a lot of Americans here during the gold rush period. The main reason it's there is that during the war years, 1942, 1945, there was no sport played here on this ground at all. In the southern stand, over there, was a home for just on 3,000 American Marines. The American Marines lived in the southern stand over there, and the ground was actually the parade ground in those times. When the Americans moved out in early 1945, then there was nearly 2,000 of the Royal Australian Air Force personnel moved in here, and they lived over here for the rest of the year. They were here basically until the end of 45, the latter part of 45, almost virtually the end of the war. So as part of our history. That's why they're up on the top there. Then we've got the Queen's Emblem up here. We've got Herb Elliott there. Ron Clark with his Olympic torch. Betty Cuthbert here on #1 stone, Raylene Boyle here. And Betty Cuthbert there, the Olympic flag. The gentleman here in the grey suit. The gentleman in the grey suit is Billy Graham, the American evangelist. The reason he's there is today he still holds the record for the most number of people on this ground. The day he was here, we had 135,000 people here. They listened to him on that day. Then we go here to 1984. We had cricket under lights started here, and directly below that is the Pope's insignia to represent the Pope John Paul when he came out here in the 60s. Up the top, of course, you've got Merv Hughes in front of under Bay 13 doing his exercise outside Bay 13. The three gentlemen here, the three tenors, they're there to represent the number of concerts we used to have here. I say used to have here because we haven't had a concert here now for the best part of 12 years. But having said that, we had one here this year. We had Guns N' Roses here this year. And just on 80,000 here for that. The main reason they came because they felt they wouldn't fit the number in anywhere else. So they came here because of the open air, because of the amount of glass around the ground. All the glass here had to be covered up from inside so as we didn't get any reverberation of sound coming off the glass. It was all done. And plus the fact they didn't want the light reflected from the rooms here back out on the ground. Then we've got the drop-in pitches here back in 1990. The juniors playing football and cricket. What they do here at half time, they have each match, football match, cricket match, they get out there and they can set up their little fields around the ground, the juniors to play there, have a go and playing football and cricket. Then we've got the soccer out here and then the rugby down the bottom. You'll notice, might have noticed, when we're on the ground, if you look across the ground, there's virtually no fall on the ground at all. The ground from the centre down to the boundary line is no more than 1 degree of fall on it. It's kept that way purely so as we need it for soccer and also for a certain amount for rugby. Get down to that reasonable, totally flat pitch. All
The actual cauldron.
Yeah, there's enough one up there. See that gold one?
I tell you what,
Yeah.
Put it up a bit higher. Now, use off the bolts. So give us about. Give us they pick it up and hook it on. Get up there, Spike.
Doing it now, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, mate.
I thought it was the buzzer anyway. I thought
No, it's because what they do, they lift and then drops in. It's to lock it in place.
Oh, you got me just in time.
Yeah, but it's
Julie.
Still all into the jacket.